You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
When did I become so dependent on other people's feelings or judgments on my performance and my abilities? I still struggle with that today, but I do have a better hold as an adult on finding those triggers and those moments saying, well, wait a minute, I suck. Do I actually suck? Is there evidence that I suck, or is there actually evidence that I don't suck? And that I'm on a Broadway stage right now. This is evidence that I don't suck.
Hey everyone, welcome to Was It Chance, the podcast about embracing opportunity and taking intentional risk for your creative life. I'm Heather Vickery.
And I'm Alan Seals, and we are two perfect strangers. We are perfect. And we met by chance and embraced opportunity. Listen in as we chat with other successful people about the risks they've taken to put themselves on a path to creative success.
You guys, this is going to be a lot of fun. I can already tell just in the pre-show chatter. We have Josh Breckenridge with us today, and he has gone from coast to coast to pursue his artistic career. He's got a brand new album out called Monotony and has returned to his role as Bob in Come From Away on Broadway. Josh, welcome to Was It Chance?
Thank you, guys. How are you?
So good. I love Come From Away.
Oh my God.
I love Come From Away.
It's so beautiful. It's gorgeous. And you know what, Heather? I'm actually the dance captain and a standby for Bob, as well as, oh my goodness, 4 other tracks on the show. So I have to, wow. I would be doing my brother DeLon Grant a disservice if I said that I was Bob. Okay. But I did play Bob at one point.
Yeah, I've done that.
A replacement Bob.
Told me that, Josh.
That's okay. Well, you know what? I played him. No, I played him in DC most recently. Actually played that role for this concert version that we did in front of the Lincoln Memorial. That actually just yesterday was voted one of the top to do of 2021 in DC. So
that's amazing. I love that. Yeah. I took my oldest daughter to see we have Broadway in Chicago theater tickets. So I'm Chicago. Amazing. And I didn't know anything about the show.
I
knew nothing, completely blind. And she's young, so she doesn't know anything about 9/11. I mean, she's just now starting to learn about it. She's 17, but at the time, this was 3 years ago.
Wait, you have a 17-year-old?
I do.
She has 4 kids.
Come on, girl. You look great. Wait, and Alan, you have kids too. How many kids?
2.
Come on, girl.
But
look, these are babies.
He didn't say I look great. I'm whispering to you right
now.
You
look great. I
okay.
gave you a wink. That was you look great.
Oh.
That was you look extra great. Wink. I don't know what that means.
See, now hold on. I'm feeling left out.
Oh, you look extra great.
Now, can you sing Shut the Fuck Up, Alan song?
Oh,
Josh, are you ready yet?
Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Wink. That's the pre-chorus. We'll have a better song later.
That was very apropos to the holidays. I felt a little Christmas.
I got my Christmas tree behind me. Yeah, So dumb.
That's amazing.
Yay.
Yeah. So we did not know what to expect, and I cried throughout the entire show.
It's
amazing. And you need to let me know when you're performing so I can fly my ass back to New York and come and see you on stage.
You want to fly out this weekend? Because I'm on.
Man.
It's a little soon.
The answer is yes, but I don't know if I can pull it off.
I'm actually on this December 11th, 12th, and 14th for sure. As standbys, we cover last minute if someone's stuck on the train or sick or, vacations or personal days. So we're with 5 out of the 6 men in the show that I cover, I'm on constantly, as well as my fellow standbys.
Yeah.
There's 6 of us, 3 men, 3 women that cover all 12 parts in the show. And but I'll be playing Bob on the 14th, and I'll be playing Kevin J, who is one half of the gay couple in the show, the 2 Kevins.
Yes.
On the 11th and 12th. So those are what's that? That's 3 shows, 2 on Saturday, 1 Sunday, and then
So
1 on Tuesday.
let me dig into the whole chance aspect of being a swing and a standby, because for those who don't know, standbys. Okay, so swings are actors who may or may not be in the show already in the ensemble or other roles, and you are tasked with knowing not 1, not 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5, sometimes more tracks, meaning a track being literally what it sounds like of every character is choreographed and blocked to go here at a certain time and there at a certain time and stand here and do this and not get hit in the head by that set piece and make sure you're out of the way of that high kick from that side of the stage, right? So you can get seriously injured if you don't know your track. And a swing has to know multiple, and a standby is someone whose job it is to be there in case somebody else doesn't show up and know multiple tracks and all this stuff. So
you're a superhero.
Yes,
Josh.
I think swings and standbys have some of the hardest jobs on Broadway. Full stop, no joke. And I applaud you. Many snaps.
Yeah.
I was a swing for Forever Plaid once back in the day, and it was
He was like 12. Come on.
No, I was. When was I? I was 27, I think, at that point, and it was one of the most anxiety-filled jobs I've ever had, because Forever Plaid, a show like that, the harmonies are like half steps apart.
Right. I can't imagine. Wait, you covered all the tracks?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Also, your range must be extensive.
Yes, not a lot.
Be able to sing the lowest of low and the highest of high.
Yeah.
I love that show, though.
Josh.
But I guess my question, though, is about the chance of all of this. What makes some people, I talk a lot, and then I ask a little question. That's okay. Some people run for the hills from the swing standby sort of life, me now being one of them after doing that Forever Plaid thing, because it was so stressful. I would rather just do one thing. What makes you want to go into taking the chance of doing taking an employment contract that knows so many different roles? Because at any point you could forget something, you could get hurt, you could just completely screw up, and then this is Broadway. The stakes are high.
This is very true. Well, first of all, I wanted to piggyback on what you were saying in the description of the hierarchy of coverage, because yes, I think that the swings are typically off stage, and then in between standby and swings, I also like to mention the understudies, who tend to be the people that are in a track, whether it's ensemble or supporting lead, that cover a role that is more featured than their own, right? I did the Book of Mormon tour, and I was Gatswana, the doctor, but I also covered Mafala, the father, and the general, the villain in the show. So understudies have an interesting task as well, and then standbys that are just off stage like swings, but cover lead roles. So in our show, I've never stood by before. I've only had my own track in a show and understudied something. The draw of this show, what made me want to take on this challenge was, it was a Broadway show, it was another credit. It was such a gorgeous piece of theater that I knew I wanted to be a part of with this. And at the time, it was so nuanced and actually a little like, there were people that had some reservations and hesitancies about it because it was about 9/11, and no one knew the vehicle of storytelling. No one knew the way that this was going to be the story was going to be told. Christopher Ashley and Kelly Devine have kind of masterfully put their powers together and made this an amazing kind of groundbreaking piece of theater. But people were hesitant about it because, they're thinking, what are you going to do? Tap dance about towers falling? Like, this is completely inappropriate. Why are we writing a musical about it? But for some reason, having read the material for the auditions and whatnot, I was sold on it. So I first and foremost wanted to join it because I wanted to be a part of this huge moment in time in Broadway history, but also a standby. We're all principals. We're on principal contracts. We get paid the same as, save for some negotiations of a smart agent. We get paid the same, and we're all on this principal contract. So I'm getting paid to do lead work as a lead person's salary on Broadway. I'm also the dance captain of the show, so my brain is even quadruple split because I got to know all female tracks as well. So I think
It's my
for
favorite
me,
move, the quadruple split.
exactly right.
Yeah.
I can give you a mean quadruple split right now. Wait.
Whoa!
My
I
leg
can't
touched
believe
the
y'all
wall.
just missed it. You're listening.
You're
You can't see what
listening, you
Josh
can't
just
see.
did with his leg.
I just hit the back wall at 10 in the morning. Yeah, so anyways, that's a long-winded answer to your question, but I was up for the challenge. I love the show. I am a huge actor. I love accents. I love the challenge of it all, and I think that this show has all of that. There's so many different accents we have to do, so many different stories we have to tell, and I do think it takes a certain brain to do what we do, to have that swing brain. You have to have a swing brain in this show as a onstage cast member.
Absolutely. Because
Let alone
everybody
a
doubles
standby.
up. Yeah.
Every track is like a swing track in itself. Yeah, you wear so many different hats. So I think I was up for the challenge. Long story short, and I was. I'm happy to have been doing it and for so long. So I'm blessed. Yeah.
I love it. Do you, if I were to ask, I am going to ask you so, not even if I were to ask you.
Hypothetically, if I were to say exactly what I'm about to say.
Right.
It's early, folks.
It's early.
Could you recall the first chance encounter that changed your life?
The first chance. Oh my goodness. As it pertains to theater or
anything that just sort of that's notable. You're like, this was such a random thing, but I leaned in, or I saw the sign, or I asked the question, or I did whatever, and here we are.
I saw the sign.
You're
Shut the fuck
you
up,
are
Alan.
old. You just told your age to everyone. You're old.
Am I supposed to say that song was popular when I was in college?
Come on, Jersey Boys. It's on Broadway now.
I know. I'm kidding.
Oh, no, it's not Jersey Boys. What is it?
What is it, Jersey Boys? I saw the sign. It's Ace of Base.
But we did sing that was that melody though.
I know. Yeah. Oh shit.
What a night.
What a night. Them. I just sang. I saw the sign to Ace of Base. I just sang Ace of Base to a What a Night melody.
I'm out.
Okay. Somebody ought to write a musical for you. Can we make this show about Josh now, Alan? Can we stop talking about you
now? Can we get back to me?
Oh my god.
Wait, I forgot the question now.
Random
chance encounters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think this was. Well, here's the thing. What the real life-changing chance situation that happens that when I was a sophomore in high school, my parents decided to move from sunny Santa Barbara, California area, like up a little north of there, a little town called Lompoc, California, to San Diego. So I was a sophomore in high school. I hated my family for the move, despise them, because I grew up with these kids since forever, and I'm about to graduate in a couple of years. What are you doing? But the move ended up being the best thing of my life. I got to I discovered the San Diego Junior Musical Theater Conservatory, which I was able to brush up my chops and work on my craft. And I met the regional choreographer for CCM, which is where I went to school, University of Cincinnati's College Conservatory of Music. I met Donna Corey there, and she told me I need to audition for the school. And from that turned into getting into the school and getting a showcase from that, getting my agent, getting my first Broadway show. So that was just a trickle down, domino effect of had I not moved from my small little town where the drama program was dying, and literally the next year they got rid of the program, and they were in transition with teachers, and it was kind of falling apart. It's a much more notable and successful program now, but at the time it really did me a service to move to this area that had a high school that was thriving theatrically, that had a Moonlight Amphitheater as a huge outdoor theater in San Diego, where I got my start doing youth theater, and so everything was just kind of snowballed from there. So that's probably the biggest chance encounter. But
isn't it so fascinating how these moments in our lives that we're sure are bad, like this awful thing is happening to me, I don't want this thing, and that leads to all the good.
Yeah.
Well, it's like in theater and Broadway and in this industry in general, every no is going to lead to a yes, to the yeses that you get. So in the moment, you're fearful, right? Like, oh God, another rejection, another rejection, another rejection. This business is nothing but Well, it's not nothing. It's 99.9%
A
rejection.
lot of rejection.
And it leads you to the yeses that you get that define who you are.
Yeah, I had a this last, what was it, like 3 weeks ago, just a lot of rejections. I was this close to like me and one other guy to a career changing role that would have been awesome, that would have eventually graduated me from Come From Away into this new Broadway gig. Didn't get it, thought I had it, didn't get it. At the same time, I got a no to another big gig and a TV opportunity. And so it was just like, woe is me. I was not in a great place, just not happy. And then a week later, like someone dropped out at the Christmas tree lighting in, and I don't know if we were in Rockefeller Center, and our amazing marketing folks got us in there. And I don't know how I was chosen, whether they looked up my stuff online and saw that I had an album, this and that, but out of like our 13, 14 people that of our folks of our company that decided to do this volunteer-based, amazing opportunity, they picked me as one of the 4 soloists. So here I am on national television singing Let It Snow and Fuck You, Alan, for the masses. And
Shut the fuck up, Alan.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Sorry. Shut the fuck up, Alan. No, but dude, thank you for the correction, Alan. Ruining my story. No, I'm kidding. So it was, but then, that happened. I have an episode of FBI that's coming out this month. Did a concert recently that got some great attention and reviews, and just a lot of like, just night and day. I was really down in the dumps, and then things, like you said, I'll turn around, and you never know what this business is gonna give you.
Well, there's a couple things I want to touch on. First off, for those, this is an audio only podcast. So for those, I'm going to describe Josh is sitting in front of his Christmas tree in a lovely tank top, and I'm admiring his deltoids. He has got some deltoids that, every time he's just gesticulating, I'm like, oh, there's the biceps. There's the biceps.
Yeah.
All right. So look up Josh and look up his arms. He's got.
You are adorable. You are so cute.
There's a lot of thirst traps out there. Thank you.
I can see the thirst trap. I want to go look on TikTok
Instagram,
right now.
j.breckenridge.music Instagram. A lot of smut. It's just smut.
So you mentioned the album. I want to get back to that. One of my the lyrics I was listening to it this morning. The quarantine has set the scene. Monotony has gotten me.
Mm-hmm.
That's repeated over and over by choice. I know,
of course. Yeah.
In the first song, and so. Did you start writing this during quarantine? Was that the whole impetus? Like, why take the chance of of putting out an album when nobody's putting out anything?
Yeah. Well, listen, it was my one moment, my free moment to do, to pursue this pipe dream. I think a lot of us realized, oh God, let me either change career paths or bake bread or take up a sewing class or, do something and try another love or experiment with something else during this monotonous moment in time. So I had already been playing ukulele, and I took up guitar, and I told myself I'm either going to pursue one of 2 loves that are in addition to my theatrical, acting world, either interior design, which I love randomly, or the music career. And I kind of took a second and prayed on it, and literally words started coming to the surface. I started writing a little bit, and then in a couple months I had like 15 songs, and some of them are like Monotony, pandemic based, quite literally, and then others are, I think they all the album is kind of a cohesive like meditation on that moment in time, whether it was specific to the pandemic or because of the monotonous state of things. It brought up memories of previous breakups, or my dad passed a couple years ago, and that recollecting those moments. And there's even a song about my dog Teddy, and the beauty that he helped me see, and just the stillness and the importance of just being, called That's the Beauty. And so a myriad of different topics. I think
But the first cut of that was
Actually,
that's the booty, and it was about sniffing other dogs' butts.
it was,
Yeah, I get that.
and then I made a PG version.
Right.
Yes, but the X-rated version is on the album. That also includes.
X-rated
Shut the fuck up, Alan.
Thank you. I think Josh feels my pain right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad I go through life causing people pain.
Yeah. You had a really interesting chance encounter that led to the production of your new album. Yes?
Is that Hit It, Josh? Tell us a story.
Hit it, Josh.
So chance encounter number 2. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I not ashamed to say this. I was in the dog park, turned over, saw something that I liked, went to go hit on someone that I thought was, ready to say hey to Josh, and turned out that they had a wife and was not playing from a team. So turned into a friendship. This really great couple. Talking to my friend Ryan, and he is a musician, and his wife is also a musician. They both, she's had a record. They both play between them about like 10 different instruments, I think, and was talking to them about my aspirations to songwrite. And she had just put out an album. They were saying they were recommending me to inspiring me to pursue that dream, and also saying, hey, we're a full band between the two of us. If you ever need, a violin here, a drum there, hit us up. And cut to my having written the 15 songs, did the research on studio spaces and this and that, and trying to get the ball rolling. And I called them up and they said, well, we're actually pregnant and unavailable right now, but here is the contact of James Frazee, an awesome producer friend of ours that has a studio in Jersey that he works out of. And I had been shopping around and trying to look for a producer, and he was the first person I called a couple after that, just to spread my eggs around. And he, so to speak, whoops, that's not the right term, but I spread my eggs around. I kept them in one basket and I spread my eggs and see. Okay, I was about to go somewhere else, but I'll keep it PG-13 at least.
Not this show.
Spread all my stuff around. So he ended up being an amazing contact. We had a great working relationship. Because of the pandemic, I did a huge portion of my album remotely. So I had about 2 months post Broadway shutdown, right? March 12th, 2020, everything shut down. Stayed here and then realized, what the hell am I doing? Let me go home, be an uncle, be a son, be a brother, which I rarely get to do with the Broadway schedule. So I went home, lived in my parents' RV in their driveway. Now, when I say RV, it's like a huge tour bus situation. Had my own fridge, had my bed, and I went to bnh.com and bought all the equipment I would need to record. I also thought, hey, if this music thing doesn't work out, I have everything I need.
Wait, so you recorded this album in an RV?
In an RV.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I did half. To be fair, I did a good half of it in the RV, and then I got the blacklist from a tape on an audition tape in California, and flew out to tape that. And while I was here in New York, went to Jersey and did the rest of the album at Hobo Studios in Jersey with James. And so, but it was really fascinating to see how this creative process was coming to be remotely. I would plunk out some notes on the ukulele, send it to him, let him know the feel, the vibe, the flow of the songs. He would then send it to our amazing drums and guitars. They would lay down the foundation and bass, and then shop it out to the rest of the band. And people would just turn in their projects, their tracks to our producer, and he'd meld them all together, and then I'd record it in the RV. So it took a village, in people in all kinds of different villages coming together to make it happen. And it was really an awesome way to execute this project. I'm proud of it. Yeah.
the pandemic is awful. Okay. But I love that as a silver lining to this unbelievable, creative, out of the box approach to really building, creating anything. Like so many people thought, how am I going to do this thing? Or now I have the time. I finally want to write my album or, start this new business or do whatever. Oh gosh, how am I going to do it? And everyone had to get so inventive.
Absolutely.
And I don't think things are going to necessarily go back. Like
there's some things that are just going to stay. Yeah. I think masks are going to be around for a minute. I think the job world is looking very different. A lot of people are working from home and seeing that it is possible and actually preferred. So yeah, you're right. The world is never going to be exactly what it was.
And I think like going, I can produce an entire album from my RV is a thing now. People are going to go, I can do that. Josh Breckenridge did it. I can do it.
Yeah.
You even have music videos, which I think are so cool. And they're really beautifully done. I'd love to hear, did you always know you were going to do videos with them? What was that production like?
Yeah, well, I have an angel that a friend of mine who contributed astronomical amount to this whole project of me. He called me up one day and was like, hey, I put a lot of preliminary, like me strumming the ukulele couple chord versions of my songs out there early in the pandemic. He saw it, he loved it. He said, talk to me when you have more and you're wanting to do more with it. And between him and myself, we were able to, produce this and make it beautiful. So I have, he would like to remain anonymous.
Okay.
But
just your angel.
My angel made it happen. So once I knew that the funds were there to make this project possible, we talked, and his thing was like, Josh, I want you to have fun, and I don't want you to cut any corners. I want this to be everything that you have dreamed it to be. With that permission, we kind of sussed everything out, and I was like, I would love to do a music video. So we Come to Me was my first single. And again, I had all these like chance meetings that kind of trickled down into an amazing happening, and met a brilliant choreographer and director and cast that just came together. And we filmed this when I was in California. We filmed the Come to Me video. It was such a success and a joy to make. And that we made 3 more. And so I have 4 music videos that accompany 4 singles off of this album, Monotony. I just did a lyric video kind of after all these releases for just in time for Halloween for one of my singles, or a release called Go, which was released kind of after the other 4 singles. And it's been a great learning experience. Also, my IMDb exploded with these new videos. So now I have more stuff on camera, and now of course I am listed there as producer as well and writer, so that's expanded that part of my career. I also feel like the exposure that I've given myself and the the response that I've gotten also internationally with a lot of this music and these videos, I think have created more opportunities for myself. I've gotten some more auditions for gigs. I did 4 TV shows this last year. And I think part of that is thanks to me being out there more. I was turning out these videos, putting so much content out there. And like you were saying before, Heather, it's like people had to figure out and kind of, experiment and see how to survive during this time. And I think those of us who really self-produced and got ourselves out there and stayed present in the world, I think we're reaping those benefits now. Whether it's from inspiring friends that are grateful for, that and doing stuff on their own, or potential gigs that are coming our way. So I'm really grateful that I decided to man up and get some work done. Yeah.
You made your Broadway debut in 2007 in the Ritz, right?
I did. I wore a mini towel on stage. Yes.
Yeah.
In a bathhouse. Yeah.
So 2007. Great. It is now It's now the end of 2021 as we record this.
Insane.
And so what has been the impetus for taking the chance to continue to pursue this horrible career path of performing?
God awful career path. Man, I've just been we just live day to day as performers, right? It's like next gig. And before you know it, like how many years later? You know, I've been in the city for like 15 years now or something. It's insane. Yeah. I think I've been blessed enough to be working the whole time. Like, it's been really a really fruitful career. If I haven't had a job, you know, right after one, I've had survival jobs, of course, like all of us, but I've had a job on the horizon, you know, something that I knew was coming up, whether it was TV or film or theater. And so that consistent employment has always been like, oh, a reminder, I'm talented. I'm
yeah.
and not only that one person thinks so, but that person thinks so. And maybe I should keep doing this. And, you know, that isn't to say that folks that, you know, because we've all had our struggle moments, folks that aren't booking gigs back to back or whatever, you know, aren't talented. We all have our moments to shine and we all get ours. But that was really, it kept me going, these gigs and these bookings. And I have a love for it. It's since I was bitten by the bug, like in middle school, like if you can see yourself doing anything else, do it.
Do that other thing.
Do that other thing, because this is, like you said, a shitty business in a lot of ways. You didn't say shitty, but I said shitty.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Yes, but it's rough, and if you can see yourself doing something else, do that. And I teach these Broadway classroom classes, and I tell the kids that, you know, it's if you know that you want to do this 150 million%, then go and do it. I think that has been my driving force, that I still love it. I still have a great love for it, and I'm finding new mediums, new areas within the business to thrive and create, and most recently the writing side of things. So
why do you think that is? Going to the I've heard that a lot, like going back to what you said about, you know, people say if you can see yourself doing anything else, do that other thing, because this is one of the hardest professions to be in. But then there are obviously, like yourself, like others that you were talking to, there are people that have to do this. It is who they are on the inside, whatever that means. What do you think that is? What is that attachment, that attraction? Is it validation? What is it about this? I think I speak for yourself first, right? That makes you have to do this and nothing else.
Well, taking a psychological side to this, I do think that a lot of us in the business are cray-cray. And by cray-cray, I mean damaged individuals. I mean, it's kind of true. I mean, like you know, growing up as a closeted, like, gay kid, like there was always the thought of like, I'm failing at this part of my life. I'm not, my parents must be ashamed of me at this part. I need to be an overachiever and not only get any kind of validation that I'm not getting at home, or not feel like I'm getting at home, because of this secret that I have and this shame that I have that society tells me I should have. But also, like, you know, through theater, through performing, it's those accolades, that applause. It is literally the equivalent of that hug and acceptance that a lot of us, whether it's, you know, sexuality based or you know, anything that has to do with self-worth, and that we tend to, you know, listen, you guys are parents. I'm not a kid. I have a fur baby. I don't know what you know, I don't have any children, so I don't know what it's like to be an actual parent, but I imagine that it must be very hard, and it's a balancing act of, let me give so much love. I can't be a best friend to them, but I can't be a, you know, drill sergeant the whole time. And, you know, you see kids, I see these products of a parenting style nowadays, where parents are best friends, and I feel like it does the kids a disservice, and I see the opposite and does them a disservice as well. So it is a balancing act. I'm not saying that I had a horrible childhood. My parents are wonderful. At the same time, it's like we thrive and are. I feel like I can disappear and be someone I'm not, and I know that people say that a lot. Yeah. But be someone that I'm not, and get the acclaim and the love and the appreciation and the, you know, just the love is a great word. The love from random strangers that kind of, at least for hour and a half, 2 hours, however long the show is, that suffices. That gives me the warmth and love that I need. And I think that that's an addictive element to theater, whether we acknowledge it or conscious about it or not. It's like, ooh, that was such a rush. Give me more. You know, not only for the ego, but for the heart. So I think that's why a lot of us do what we do, whether we're aware of it or not.
It's a heart hug.
It's a hard hug. You said something, though, that I find really fascinating. So I am a success and leadership coach. And one of the things that I help people do is find evidence to shut down the bullshit stories that our brains tell us. So when you said you've been lucky enough to have consistent work, it doesn't mean you get every gig or every job. You've already said that. That's exactly what I tell people. Like, okay, write it down. Like, do you have a system or a method for reminding yourself that you're good at this? That
people like you.
Damn it! Exactly right. You know, you're aware of like CBT work, then, right? Yeah. Cognitive behavioral therapy, and so you know, I have a therapist that I've done work with a previous therapist. I've done some CBT work, and that has endowed me with some amazing skills that I still use to this day. Of like, you know, it's easy for us to catastrophize something and blow something up in our minds, you know, make hyperboles that cause us to not see the good in situations. I still, as a grown man, do that to this day, but I do have to sometimes write it out. I've gotten to the point now where I am able to clock these automatic negative thoughts in the moment and be like, wait a minute, what was that? Why did you not, like, shut up, shut the fuck up, Josh. Why did you not, shut the fuck up, Alan. Why did you not take that compliment that someone get, like, literally people give me compliments, and my first, you know, gut reaction is to pew, pew, like, just like deflect. Get out of here. You know, and it's funny, like, to this day, I'll leave the stage door, and it's like, if I felt amazing about the performance, if I get no specific, you know, flowering of great job, I automatically think, oh, I must have sucked. It totally takes down my performance. And then vice versa, if I felt shitty and I get all this praise, you know, it builds me up. And it's like, when did I become so dependent on other people's feelings or judgments on my performance and my abilities? So I say all that to say that I still struggle with that today, but I do have a better hold as an adult on finding those triggers and those moments, identifying them. Yeah, I think it's like those 3 steps of like acknowledging, identifying, and then changing, you know, and saying, well, wait a minute, I suck. Why do I suck? Do I actually suck? No, do I actually suck? Is there evidence that I suck, or is there actually evidence that I don't suck?
That's right.
And that I'm on a Broadway stage right now. This is evidence that I don't suck.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Or not even, you know, it can be a minuscule smile on the street, a call from a friend, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be that you're successfully on a Broadway stage or on a film set. It can be the little things that remind you that you're pretty darn amazing as well. So yeah, that's my thing, is taking those 3 steps and breathing, meditating, you know, trying to clock it. I don't think we ever fully become super women and super men and are able to totally deflect those feelings. They're there, but it's just about how we manage them.
I actually wanted to dive back into, I love the therapy part of things, and I want to talk about therapy. Just
everybody needs a therapist.
Come on,
therapist.
Like, you're not weak. You're not less than. Listen, and it's also like very taboo in my culture. You know, as African American, like, it's always been like, oh, that's white problems. That, I mean, to be honest, that is, you know, it's like it's thought of as, it's so changing, but it's, you know, definitely like my parents' generation, you know, it's a weak thing. It's I don't need to talk about my problems, just, you know, man up or grow some balls and deal with it. And I think that it's absolutely not that. Every single human being needs someone to talk to get our feelings out, to reflect, to, you know, and a therapist is there to listen, maybe suggest, not tell you what to do, but inspire you to find answers yourself. And so I'll say to people out there listening that there's nothing to be afraid of or ashamed of in a therapist and therapy. And luckily, with, you know, recently a lot of those Olympians that came out as
absolutely game changing,
literally Olympic game changing. It like seriously,
Zing.
it's like if they can take the second and say, my mental health is more important than this, celebrity and I mean, who would step away from this sometimes once in a lifetime opportunity to be a gold medalist or whatever? That must mean that
It's
this
a
other
big
thing is
deal.
very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a trend-setting moment in time that I'm so grateful for.
I enjoy
Yeah.
that. I enjoy that so much, and it speaks to the fact that maintaining a status of being elite, not elitist, but like an elite athlete. And I've said this before.
Or an elite performer, or
that's what I said.
an elite
and we
accountant,
are
or
athletes
whatever.
too, right? Yeah.
Right, like
Yeah.
Broadway is the Olympics of theater. Like
Sure.
the top of the game, the best of the best, and the emotional toll that takes on people. This is what I've learned from being in this community for so long, is that you have leads who are living their dream downstage center, belting their ass off, having panic attacks at that moment on stage, because they realize that 2,000 people are staring at them, or however many people are in the house staring at them. They're
Or that
carrying the
imposter
show
syndrome, right?
Yep.
They're gonna find me out. I don't belong here. I'm not worthy. Yeah.
So does that go through your head at all? And I guess to take it back. Yeah, he looked at me like, of course, dumbass.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Alan.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. No, absolutely. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
Oh no, I mean so that's what I was getting into, is like, how do you maintain, I guess this relates to what you're saying a little while ago about having
the
to
CBT work and
the CBT work, and having to like get the devil off your shoulder, right? That evil devil that's like, you are not good enough. So how do you maintain, especially like if you're in the middle of a show, do you ever have this kind of feeling creep in where it's like you come out of the moment real quick and you're like, oh shit, I am on stage, I don't know my next line. People are going to find out I'm a fraud.
Go to the white room. Yes.
Yeah. Like what track am I in right now?
Oh yeah, right. God, this isn't Dreamgirls. Where am I? The hell? Yeah, man. I mean, it happens less often now, especially with the show that I've been doing since 2016, technically, like out of town. We did it in Toronto before we came here. That's when I joined. But even with the show that you do forever, those thoughts come up, especially as a standby when I'm jumping into different tracks. It's not like I'm comfortable 8 shows a week with my one thing. It always keeps me on my toes. But yeah, absolutely. Those thoughts come into my head, and in the moment, especially with a show like ours, where it's like, if you're worrying about a line missed, you are run over, because it's get out of the way for the next person's line. It's so popcorn, and there's not really vamps. It's just like your line, your song. It's very ensemble driven. There's not time for that. And I think whether you're an ensemble member or a supporting lead or a lead role, or you're doing a monologue or a sonnet or whatever, there's no time to be in those negative thoughts. You know what I mean? There's just and it's funny. Like I'll watch performers that I just think like, God, you were incredible, and I would never know that they are dealing with a million things are going in their heads, besides like, what am I going to have for dinner, or whatever. It's also like, am I good enough? What's my next line? There's a myriad of things that might be, churning behind the eyes of the folks that we're watching, and that's part of our skill set as actors as well, is to be able to mask up and put that fourth wall up there and tell the story, regardless of what we're doing. So part of that, I thank my professors and my parents and my elders, folks that have trained me to have that polish and that immediate response to those negative thoughts, to be able to tell my story regardless of what I'm thinking. But yes, I do think that there are times that I still go to that place, and all I can do is breathe in that moment and realize that, hey, I'm on a Broadway stage doing my thing. Shut the fuck up, Josh. So
something else that going back to the very beginning, we said swing and standbys, what they do. Sometimes you have to change roles in the middle of a show. I just want to call that out.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's structured that way in our show. You literally put on, I'm Kevin J 1 second, I'm Ali the next. But do you know that this last weekend, a standby went on mid-show, which has only happened 3 times.
That's what I mean.
Ever.
Yeah.
Once to me. Yeah. So once it happened to me, I was, I mentioned before, I'm the dance captain. I was up in the rafters, the lighting booth area, our balcony area, noting the show like you do. And I had taken a cat nap because it was like, I think it was like a matinee. It was no, it was a Wednesday evening show because we had just done a matinee, and the lighting guy next to me, the guy in charge of the automation, some of the lighting in the show, our automated lighting, nudged me and said, "Hey, Josh, they're looking for you." I said, "What?" What? And I looked at my phone. I had all these text messages and missed calls. And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I called our stage manager from up there, and I was whispering. I was like, "What's happening?" He's like, "You're on." I'm like, "What?" Like, get down here. So I ran down. Again, it takes a village. Our sound department, our makeup, our my head. We all came together, got me ready like in less than 15 minutes.
Wow.
And our show's full of chairs. He rolled his chair off, I rolled mine on. And what happened, and then I just sat down and we didn't even stop the show. What happened is that he had eaten something on the break in between shows and had food poisoning and was like blowing chunks off stage and was not going to make it to the rest of the show. This thing that happened last week was that one of our actresses got a booster shot, right? And she thought that she could make it through. She didn't have any symptoms before the show, but like quarter of the way through, she started to, and we do some chair walking in the show. We get up on chairs and she was like, I will fall off. I'm dizzy. I can't make it. And so, the powers that be got the word to all the departments, and, I ran up and made sure the actress had everything she needed from the dance department while wigs and hair were getting her ready and makeup and this and that. And, luckily it was one of her primaries to walk in the park for her to do that role. But yeah, that stuff happens and we got to be ready for it as standbys.
I love how seamless and how, just professional. And you didn't, like, when you came on, other dude rolled off, you rolled on. How many of the audience even noticed? Who knows? But speaks to the profession.
That was the thing, because I went out the stage door. This happens a lot. People mistake me for Delon, and I'm like, there are 2 Black people on stage, folks. I need you to try a little harder because
right.
People often think that I'm Delon. So I went off stage I went at the out the stage door at the end. People were like, "Oh my God, great show." And there was something in the air where I was like, I don't think, as I was like signing programs, I was like, I don't think they know that anything happened. And so at one point I was like, I'm sorry, time out. How many people noticed that I was a different actor that came on halfway through? Nobody knew. And someone was like, I was in the second row and didn't know. I said, you should be ashamed. I'm different timbre of voice, different skin tone. Like, come on, people. I think I had like no facial hair and he had a beard. I was like, come on. So I was a little actually offended by that. But it also is a testament to our teamwork and artistry, and that we're able to make it seamless and literally helping to push forward that saying the show must go on, because it actually did.
It's like running a relay race, passing the baton, but as the gun goes off, you don't know who's waiting for you in the final legs.
It's insane. Yeah. I want to watch a documentary about that. Like, I want people to just record and show these transitions. Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, quick changes.
Really cool.
To watch a documentary on quick changes and stuff, I would eat that up. Like, that stuff is difficult. Insane. It takes a village to get all that done.
I had what show? It might have been Book of Mormon. I had a quick change that was like 15 seconds. Something insane. I literally had like 2 different dressers. Like, there are some changes that are insane, and then some changes that happen on stage that are just mind-blowing, costume reveals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so everyone go see Josh and Come From Away. Where else, where can they get your music? Like, where else are you going to be? Tell people where to find you.
No, of course. j-breckenridge.com has all the tea, everything, all my music, where you can purchase my album, both digitally, and I have a vinyl record, guys.
What?
That was like that cherry on top of the whole, the music videos and everything else, being able to make that was amazing. So that's available on my site as well.
You're so hipster.
Totes hipster. My vocal fry. I don't know if that was like Valley Girl or hipster. It's hipster, bro.
That's just demonic.
It is.
No, you are, Alan. Stop interrupting our guest.
Hipster. How did you get it?
Oh yeah, come on. I was gonna say Darth Vader, but no. What's his name? Inspector Gadget?
Dr. Claw.
Dr. Claw. Come on, Dr. Claw.
Get it next time.
I love that.
Gadget.
Anyway, go ahead.
Voiceover. No, it's over. No, you ruined it.
I can't sing it like that.
Shut the fuck up. The Alan is cowering under his hoodie right now for folks that cannot see. So the record links to my YouTube channel. You can catch the music videos
And your smutty Instagram account.
and my smutty ass Instagram account. I'm talking all the deltoids, all the pecs, all the peaches, all the things.
Look, even this lesbian thinks it's hot, so that's okay.
Hey, come on. You a lesbo?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Leslie.
I'm family,
Hey.
baby.
Hey, family. Oh, Alan, you breeder. Wait. Is he? You a breeder? You're a breeder.
I'm totes a breeder.
Oh, man. Totes my
But I appreciate a good deltoid. Don't forget.
Okay, no homo. So anyways, people can check out all my stuff. YouTube channel, record, links to, I got, again, like I was saying, the FBI episode that's coming out. My website has everything, j.breckenridge.music on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. All my music is available on every platform there is. I'm out there.
Yes. I
Jay
love it.
Breckenridge is the music persona, Jay Breckenridge, and Josh Breckenridge is the acting.
So, I love it. This has
With my
been
shimmy.
an absolute blast. I feel like, we're bonded now. Permanently.
We are bonded
We're bonded.
forever.
I love that. Thank
We
you,
all have a
Josh.
hand to the chest now. Yeah. Thank you guys. This is it. My brethren, my sister. Why are you throwing up?
What? No, that was me blowing all my love air at you.
Ooh,
No, now he's trying to
through my
backtrack.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, Alan.
Shut the fuck up,
Listen.
Alan.
I am nothing but dad jokes.
I love that's adorable.
That is
no one. Oh my goodness.
That was a bless your
Dad
heart.
joke.
That was a bless your
It
heart.
was.
That
And
was-
you
with
deserved
a little
it.
shade underneath
so
it.
that's okay.
Bless his heart.
Bless his little straight ass.
Josh, you are
heart.
amazing. This was so much fun. Thank
You
you,
guys are
so
amazing.
much
Thank you for having
for
me.
being here
Yeah.
with us. Yeah.
Of
Good luck with
course.
everything. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Can we just play Josh's version of Shut the Fuck Up, Alan, right now?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Alan, shut it. Wink.
I think I have a crush on Josh. Like a gay girl to a gay guy crush on Josh Breckenridge.
I have. Is this a thing? Gay culture envy, queer.
Oh,
envy?
you totally do. You want to be gay so bad.
I wish I was. I really do, because it's just such an accepting, open-minded. I mean, for the majority, speaking majority, compared to your normal cis white dudes, the queer culture is so much nicer and accepting. I have found so many closer friends in that. In the queer culture,
it is. It's like a secret society that's not secret. But I had this experience with one of my dearest friends, who I was really good friends with. She's queer. I was really good friends with her before I came out, but after I came out, like, there was a shift in dialogue. There was a shift in like the way you would chat and connect with one another. It's special. Yeah, you can't come in. Sorry, yo. But we appreciate you as an ally, and we love you.
Well, look at the episode graphics for this episode with Josh Breckenridge, because he sent us some thirst-trappy images.
Yeah, per Alan Seal's request. So I told Josh that I was going to let you pick the images to promote. He was like, I love that it gets to be Alan's decision. I'm like, oh yeah, we've got to put this ball firmly in Alan's court.
I'm gonna pick a couple extras too that maybe he didn't send, and we may throw them out there just for fun, because this dude, like, not only is he a nice guy, he's in a great profession, and he's got an amazingly large talent, and he's got a body that a lot of straight men, straight and queer, whatnot, like across the spectrum, are envious of. But I, superficiality aside, if that's a word, and if it is, then great. If not, I just made it up. Superficiality aside, I really, really enjoyed talking with Josh, simply because he's where he is now because of nothing but taking chances.
Nothing but taking chances. Nothing. I loved this whole lesson, and it's one that I feel like we all learn over and over again of something's happening in my life that doesn't feel good. I don't like it, but I have to do it. I don't have a choice. I have to lean into it. And oh my God, the most amazing things happen. So his parents move, he switches high school. All of a sudden his music and theater career begins. And then when he talked about his music videos, his angel, who just said, I love what you're doing. I want to be part of what you're doing. How can I help? And then Josh had the guts to lean into the risk and opportunity and say, I want to make music videos.
But then
That's
also
so cool.
the whole album in general is because he took a chance and just walked up to a complete stranger out in the park, right?
Trying to get a date.
And tried to get a date. But it turned into this thing, which turned into this connection, which turned into this full album. And it's just awesome. These seemingly minuscule little decisions or chances, like things that you're like, should I walk a different way home today? I love doing that. If I can if there's like 2 or 3 paths home or 2 or 3 different ways to do something, I try all the time to do it differently than I did last time, just to experience something new. And that's led to so many different opportunities that, looking back, I wouldn't have had if I just did the same thing over and over again.
And I don't think a lot of people do that. I love that you do that. Most folks are all kinds of routine. They go exactly the way they always go every time. And that does drastically limit their opportunity for chance encounter or, signs or new things. Yeah.
It's fighting evolution, right? Because we are herd animals that want to find, like, our brains, right? Our brains are wired to find the shortest possible connection path, the easiest way of doing things, because that's just how we are. That's how we've evolved into creatures that, are whatever. I'm devolving in this conversation. But the way our brains are hardwired, they try to hardwire themselves and literally calcify to find the easiest path of doing things. And so all the time I'm like, do I brush my teeth with my right hand because I'm left-handed, because I want to just keep it a little bit different? Do I I want to take a slightly different path every time I'm walking to the same place, because I just want to experience something different and train my brain to stay functionally perceptive. I don't want to get old. I'm so afraid of calcification in my brain when I get old.
I think that's cool. And I think it takes a lot of intention. We talk about intentional creation, right? You have to really go out of your way to say, I want to do this differently than I normally do, and see what comes up. I love that. And I love this conversation with Josh Breckenridge. He is so funny and so engaging. And I just kind of want to, I want to say I want to sit on his lap. I'm super gay. Like, I'm not into it, but I just kind of like want to sit on his lap and like giggle with him. I don't know. There's something really wonderful about him.
Sort of stroke your hair, tell you you're a great person.
Tell me I'm so pretty. Tell me I'm so pretty, Josh. No, I'm kidding. I should note too, and we can't say this with every single interview, although it feels like it's the case. We were introduced to Josh once again from my amazing friend Stevie Mans, whom you still have not met, and I need to change that.
Please change that. I need to meet Stevie.
Change it. I think I just need to get my ass back out there and we can all get together.
Well, take the rest of you with your ass, but book the ticket for your ass first.
We'd have a big Was It Chance little get together. We could invite Erica and James and Josh and Stevie and just have a good old fucking time.
And just say, like, listen, this is all about an unintentional or intentional chance. Everybody's supposed to bring one friend. And so that way we all just create this chance encounter of a party where, or dinner or whatever it's going to be. And yes, I love this idea, actually.
We're going to make this happen.
We're going to make this happen. Next time you come out here, we're going to have the Was It Chance holiday / New Year's, whatever it is, intentional platonic party where we're just supposed to...
Yes, Alan, it's going to be platonic. I love how he had to clarify that. Like, this is not an orgy, folks.
It sounds like I'm setting up speed dating.
No, it didn't sound like that. It's just that your brain is fucked up.
Yeah, well, okay.
This is an explicit episode.
Every episode is explicit. Okay, well, let's wrap it up. If you have a
Shut
story...
the fuck up, Alan. No, I can't do it.
We want to know what your stories are. We want to know what your chance encounters are.
So we're on Instagram. Was it chance? We truly want to hear what you have to say. What kind of chance encounters are changing your life? What are you intentionally creating and leaning into this opportunity? We respond, and we are actually going to... What are we going to do, Alan? Tell folks.
We are going to take your stories and read them if you give us permission, unless you tell us not to. But we're going to put them out into our feed as standalone episodes. So you can connect with the people who connect with us and send us your stories, and we will get all of this out there into the world, because the more people know about the chances that everyone takes, the better the world is going to be.
Absolutely. So you could be featured on Was It Chance, the podcast about embracing opportunity and taking intentional risk for your creative life. I'm Heather Vickery.
I'm Alan Seals.
We'll see you next time.